all three of them was equally as good.
I appreciate that. This one's gonna be better, inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right. Live. Did you go? All right. Let's do this. What it is, what's up? It's your boy Lahore Lee, aka Laheezy. And
What up,
welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Podcast.
Yes,
And I
sir.
know I say this all the time. I know I say I got a special guest all the time, but this one is near and dear to my heart. This is my brother for real.
Yeah, man.
From the Sandlot to where we are now,
That's a fact.
this is my brother, Thierno Diallo, the
Yes, sir.
CEO of Cap USA, CEO of many things, many endeavors.
Yeah.
But I think his most important title that he got right now is father.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah, man, introduce yourself to the people. We just gonna jump into this because I'm
Yeah.
excited, man. What's up? What's
oh,
up? What's
man.
up?
What's up, Lahore?
What's happening, man? Talk to the
so-
people. Tell them a little bit about yourself and
My name is Thierno Diallo. I was born in Harlem Hospital to
hey,
be
man,
exact.
you see it on the hat.
But my family and I am from Guinea, West Africa,
Yeah.
and they immigrated over here in the 90s. They started a business, and I took over the business a few years back, and ever since, I've been trying to modernize it and bring it into the world as something that it could be for everybody,
For today.
for today. But I grew up in Harlem, went to school in Harlem, went to college in New York as well. So I'm a super New Yorker.
I'm a
I'm what you
super
call
New
a
Yorker.
super New Yorker. But
Bing bang, you heard? Bing bang.
yeah, man.
I kind of want to kick things off just like
Yeah.
talking a little bit about your parents' story because I feel like that'll help us pivot into how you kind of took over things. So, just the process of how your parents got here and who they are,
Mhm.
and basically like what drove them to start opening a business in America in a
Yeah.
land that, a lot of people just came here and grabbed the
Yep.
taxi and was like, all right, let's
Yep.
do this.
Yep.
So your parents thought, about the long run and the kids that they was
Mhm.
going to have here. So they saw a vision for them.
Mhm.
They planned a life here. Where it's like a lot of other parents would just, they would work and be like, okay, I'm going to get some money, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just talk a little bit about that. And
Mhm.
is that like something you're really grateful for that they,
Absolutely, man.
started a business here?
I think gratefulness is an understatement when it comes to how I feel towards my parents. Like you said, they came here as immigrants, and to be honest with you, there was like any other immigrant. They didn't really know which route to take. My dad, he worked a few jobs. He worked in the car wash, but when they told him that he couldn't pray, he left the same day.
Wow.
He
My dad left the car
Yeah.
wash too, actually.
I'm
He's
telling
like,
you,
yo,
man,
my
like-
hands is cold. I'm not doing this.
So basically, when they came here, especially my mom, they definitely thought that they should follow the mold in the beginning. Like my mom, she thought she should work in a hair salon like
Mhm.
everybody else, but
Yeah.
she ended up just following my dad and helping out my dad, because the whole time when my dad was here, he always thought about legacy. He thought about what he could pass down to his children and what his children could pass down to their children. So that was always on his mind. And so when they started the business, it was at a time where it wasn't popular,
Mhm.
Especially when you can make some quick money and drive a taxi, or not that there's anything wrong with that,
Nah, not at all.
but I mean, they had like two routes to take. They
Yeah.
could have went that way, or they could have started something on their own,
Mhm.
which was very hard. So
Yeah.
they started on the corner, outside,
Damn.
table,
Table.
selling to people, selling DVDs and bobby pins
Yeah.
and T-shirts and socks, and
White tees.
coming here to 28th Street and racking up on stuff and putting
Probably
it in the
still
bag,
driving taxi
hopping
on
on
the
the train, going back uptown, selling it out the table, like I said.
Yeah.
And then eventually they got to a point where they had such a grasp on the community
Yeah.
that the people in the community came to them for not just for stuff, but they also came to my dad so they could have a conversation with him, so
Yeah.
he could preach to them, and he could
Yeah.
like give them dawah. But my mom, at some point, she was able to used that to their advantage, and she was able to generate a following within the community. And she came down here once, and she found fitteds. She was like, "Oh, we selling hats, like little snapbacks and stuff." And somebody told her to come down here and get some fitteds, and she got some fitteds. She took them uptown, and
it was and you got to remember the time too. It was like the 80s.
No, it's the 90s. Like
exactly,
90s.
And that's when everybody was wearing oversized hat to the side.
Oversized hats.
And you got to remember, and that was crazy time too, to kind of tell you a story about my dad. And like, he loved telling this story. You know, African dads always got a story to tell.
Oh my God.
Well, my dad always tell a story about how, you know, it was a lot of them on 116, and they had this rule where it's like, yo, if you don't come home at a certain time, bro, you got to sleep in your car for real. And like 7 of them would meet up, walk to the crib. Like, that's how crazy it was. They would literally rob the money that you made from that day if you didn't be careful.
Right.
There was barely no cameras. There was no nothing. So for them to just be on a corner, you know, the community had to really rock with them. Like, you know, so.
My dad was when he first came here, he was with like 10, 15 people all in one apartment. And so basically with my mom, when she went down there, she came back and she had the fitteds, but nothing sold because she had got one size in each fitted. So she said, you know what, I'm gonna go back down there and I'm gonna get every size and every fitted. She went down there, she got every size and every fitted, she bought it back, and everything sold out within a day.
Wow.
So that's when she had the genius idea to.
That's why you need a good woman in your life, people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My dad definitely was, you know, he built the foundation. But my mom was the one that had the hard work and spearheaded it and took it to the next level.
So, you know? So kind of to pivot, so, you know, the basis of the podcast is called, you know, dream, plan, and execute, right? And I always say this, I'm like, you know, when it comes to men and women, the man usually got this crazy dream. But that you got that woman, that planner. She's that planner, and then y'all could execute together.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like you're literally hitting the nail on how your mom and dad was kind of like, she's like, your dad was like, I want to do this crazy thing. Your mom was like, all right, I believe in this man.
Yes, she was just behind him 100%.
Let me help him plan this out.
Absolutely.
It's crazy, but I you know, once you get on board, it's like, okay, we're going to do this, then we're going to do this, then we're going to do that.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's, and, you know, I feel like you also have an amazing woman in your life, too,
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You feel me? Because, I'm a dad now, which is so crazy. I appreciate that, man.
And the one who put us on is standing right in front of me, so.
I mean, if y'all want to know the story, maybe that's a story for another day. But basically, I just want to say that I introduced him and his wife, man.
Absolutely, man. And I appreciate you for life for that, man. That's the person that I spend every day with.
I love you guys, man. You guys, amazing, man. You kind of just met and y'all just went to your corner and now y'all, you know. So how has she been helping you on that journey?
So to be honest with you, it's kind of in the sense the same with my parents, to where like my dad had a vision and my mom was behind it 100%. She didn't like sway off and try to do her own thing. She said she was gonna be with my dad and make sure that his vision comes to fruition, and she was able to multiply what he had, you know. And my wife is the same thing, man. We just got a baby. So like you said earlier, that I'm a father now.
Hey, that's the most important title.
And she's super duper supportive in my relationship, and she, you know, she helps me grow every single day as a man.
No, that's beautiful.
You know, and she respects me as a man, and she gives me, you know, dawah, and she gives me exactly what I need every single day to make sure that I could go out there and provide. You know,
that's beautiful. And so kind of pivot into, I'm pretty sure you had your struggles with taking over the business and not taking over the business, because it's like, I could only imagine the internal conflict that you was going through. So what kind of made you go from, because I know you used to be in the kid sitting in the back of the store, to now like, yo, you point fingers and you moving things around, you going here, and people don't understand, like, when you work for a family business,
it's like, very hard.
It's very hard because it's hard to go home and then the people you work with, it's also your family. So how do you navigate working in like a family business and kind of be in the forefront? And you had ideas that I feel like transformed this business, like pivoting from just brick and mortar to online.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something you had to convince your parents, like, okay,
Absolutely.
this is a community as well. It's just an online community. This is another way to bring in the new generation. So just talk a little bit about that.
So, yeah, man, you hit it on the nail, to be honest with you. When I was younger, I was around my parents as much as I can. You know, I was always in the shop. There was this one time where I was like 4 years old and I snuck out the house because we lived right across the street.
Yeah.
I snuck out the house by myself trying to go see them at the store, and I got lost, and, you know, they was able to find me, but I was always attached to the business. So as I grew older, through middle school and high school, I always had a plan to one day take over the business. It was always in my plans, you know, and it was always in my plan to grow the business to a point where it could operate on its own, and I could retire my parents and make sure that the business is something that can run itself without us, you know. But at some point, I decided that was actually what I was gonna do, and this was like in 2016. I was in college and I was studying business, and a lot of the times I was in a classroom with a teacher who was teaching me something that I was actually going uptown and dealing with the same day.
And you kind of been doing for a long time. It's just you just didn't put it together yet.
Exactly.
And then I'm pretty sure while you was in class, every time you learned something, you thought about how you can apply it to that business.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That was very important. So honestly, that's one of the only things I got from college. It's literally just by going there and getting the information that I needed to progress the business that I was in at the time. So I would come back uptown and I would implement the business lessons that I was learning. And around like 2019, 2020, I made the decision that I was actually gonna take over the business. And it was always kind of set up for me to take over it. It's just I could have taken different routes. You know, I could have went corporate and got more knowledge, or I could have just went directly to the job and done what I needed to do to grow the business. So when it really got to a point, I know a lot of people gonna bring up COVID, because COVID was the time where a lot of people's lives changed in a sense, and a lot of people made decisions that will allow them to.
Table?
Sorry to interrupt.
Table, yeah.
My bad.
I was about to say it. I was just waiting.
Yeah, I talk with my hands a lot.
No, you good.
But during COVID, a lot of people made decisions that would affect their lives for the next 15, 20 years, you know, and people was making COVID money. Yeah. But for me, we had to close our store down. So we had to figure out a way to make money while not being at the store. So at the time, I always had planned to put the business online, but I had nothing but time at this point. So all my time went into creating a website, marketing on social media, generating a community around myself, like building a bigger community online, because we had a community already, but we never had like a community online. And that's what allowed us to really spearhead the game and become one of the leading suppliers, the leading distributors of New Era apparel and New Era fitteds. And I ended up starting the website, and the website ended up going crazy. You know, everything that I dropped sold out immediately. And that really was what made me realize that, I'm on the right path, and I will be able to do exactly what I need to do to grow this business and to multiply our revenue, because it got us to a point where it wasn't just generating us cash flow online, it was bringing people to the store.
And I feel like one of the dopest, most unique experiences about purchasing a hat from you guys is going into Harlem and buying the fitted. You know, so how do you kind of bring that online though?
A lot of times when you're selling online, you gotta use the data. but you also gotta go with your gut feeling at times. You also gotta go with your instincts. And a lot of it was just me seeing how we were operating our business in the store and how successful it had gotten, and trying to recreate that online and on social media by having that same relationship with my customer, by talking to them, by giving them advice on what to do with their outfits or how to bend their hats, or a lot of stuff that helped me go viral was when I just got on the camera and spoke to them as I was talking to them in the store. And that's what allowed us to just continue building that relationship that we have with our customers online, because the amount of support we have in Harlem, just Harlem, is something that I want to recreate for the entire world, to be honest with you.
And I feel like you do one of my favorite things that y'all do is y'all tell the story of Harlem online. Like, I love coming on to the Cap USA page on Instagram, and then like I see, this is part of Harlem, or y'all do a little skit about Harlem. I feel like that in itself is like, I need 5 hats, bro. and you know what I'm saying? So I think y'all do an amazing job marketing. And I feel like that was one of the things that you brought into Cap USA as a new CEO. Yeah. How hard was it though for your parents to kind of let go and just be like, all right, bro, take over? Or you feel like African parents, I'm just tired, I'm going back to Africa?
Nah, bro. African parents will never let go.
No, I know. That's what I said.
How hard was it for them to let go? They never let go.
My mom at the store right now.
Yeah, you feel me? It's like, it's a thing where I just had to come to terms with that right there, that my parents are always going to be my parents. And I just had to try to maneuver that relationship that I had with them as parents and also as business partners. Because at some point, I became their partner, and we started to see things differently in a sense. So if I bought the vision, I also had to show them how to implement that vision. And also, what was the second step in the level up?
Oh, just dream, plan, and execute.
Plan, and execute. Yeah. So I had to show them the vision, and then show them the plan, and then we execute. We execute together as a union, as a commodity.
And African parents, they speak money. So if they see revenue,
absolutely,
let's do it again.
They speak money.
They speak revenue.
Whether it's pounds, whether it's dollars,
whatever.
Or
as long as it's currency, bro.
That's a fact. So like I told you, I was able to generate enough business online to the point where it became half our business. And obviously, if you see that as parents, it's something that you want to continue growing. And like I told you earlier, it's a legacy thing. So I want to be able to pass this down to my children. And it's also a family business. So just because I'm running it, it doesn't mean that it's strictly mine. It's my family's, and it's something that I want to grow to a point where it could be able to take care of everybody.
Man, that's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. Yeah. So let's kind of pivot back into you personally. And so how do you kind of maintain just balance within all of this, man? Because people think entrepreneurship, you work, you go home. It don't work like that. Work don't stop. You just had to turn your phone off.
Yeah, bro.
So how do you kind of?
And I don't even know what I turned it
off.
No, I
know. I'm
Somebody
scared for you.
Me, I'm like, if I get out of here and start hopping.
So how do you kind of just maintain, bro?
To be honest with you, man, I've gotten really close to my dean within the last few years, and it was really allowed me to be vulnerable with my parents, with my wife, with my newborn child. I was able to build my relationship with Allah, and that relationship was able to blossom all my other relationships. So in 2019, I went back home to Legina, and that's where my parents are from, and it's basically my roots. So I was able to go back and see my country for what it is, and all its, and all its good and bad, and all its craziness. Like if I ain't give a F was a country, that would be our country, So it's like
yeah, bro. I
I
went
went back,
2019
and
too.
and it's like it's hard to see your country like that, but at the same time, I was able to meditate out there and pray out there and do everything that I couldn't do out here on a regular basis, and that's what really allowed me to balance out my life in a sense, because then I was able to really form a connection with my parents, because I know where they came from and I know what they had to go through to get here. And I know why, to this day, they talk about going back, even though it's like, why would you want to go back to something that you left?
Yeah.
But I can
no matter
relate
how
to it
crazy
because
it
now
is, ain't no place like home, bro.
ain't no place like home.
Yeah.
I found me.
Yeah.
And so at some point within the last few years, I was able to develop my relationship with Allah, especially when I went to Umrah.
Yeah.
When I went to Umrah, I told myself that I wouldn't miss a prayer, even though sometimes things happen. But I tried my best to, separate my personal life with my not my religious life, but my personal life with my business life, and that was able to build my spirituality. It was able to build my sense of self.
Make sure you prioritize that over anything else, So,
absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I feel like people don't understand too. Sometimes just like taking a moment, just stop and pray, and remember that, because people like somebody said Allahu Akbar. They say it's someone saying God is great.
Yeah.
But I've read somewhere, and I like this translation better, is Allah is greater. So it's like, I feel like it's very different than saying Allah is great and saying Allah is greater, because then it's like, this world it's very small compared to the overall plan. So it just give me a sense of ease, like, okay, if something go wrong, it's okay, you know.
If I didn't have that, bro, I don't know where I'd be right now in life.
You tell him.
Because it's like, if I didn't have that to go back to realize that, there's something greater than me out there. There's something greater than me in this. There's something greater than whatever I can see with my naked eye. At all times, that's always there for me. That always knows what I'm doing. That gives me a level of comfort to a point where I'm like, that's where I want to get back to, and that's where I want to continue to put all my energy into first, and then everything else follows from there.
That's beautiful. Only other thing you gotta throw in there a little sprinkle, I'ma do it, but it's the gym, that.
Oh, of course,
know what I'm saying?
Man.
That's that right there. That helps too, man. That's
of
personally
course,
how
bro.
I.
Of course.
Stay balanced and calm sometimes because
you actually motivate me a lot, bro.
Yeah.
You.
That's the level.
Not just with your gym stuff, but just you in general. You were supposed to ask me the question in the beginning about who motivates me, right?
Yo, I didn't do the shout out. Yo, I got so excited. I didn't even. Oh man,
it's crazy. I know I'm long-winded, bro. So I make people forget when I talk.
Crazy. First of all, I just want to say I appreciate that. That means that he actually watches the podcast. He ain't just coming on here.
That's why it's
That's
hard
crazy.
to follow
it's
those
here,
last
man.
interviews
It's here.
you did,
Oh man, I blame the MTA, bro.
But like I said, it's you.
I appreciate you.
Wow.
All right, so we gonna go back. Let's take a moment to I might cut now. I'm gonna leave it right here. Normally when I start the podcast, I take a moment and shout somebody out, somebody that's been leveling up, somebody that's just been doing really dope things.
Right.
And so I usually let the guests go first, but today I'm gonna go first because I see what happened. But the person that I had in my mind that I want to shout out is a mutual brother. Yeah. And I've watched him grow tremendously and he's somebody we grew up in the Sandlot with. But it's Alpha Saliu. Yeah. aka Alpha Diallo.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, man. I seen him grow a lot. Even like he's doing his thing, man. Not just in basketball, but just in life. Like,
Absolutely.
Over the years, like even me and him, we got a lot closer, and he's just been leveling up in so many ways, taking care of his family.
Yep.
He done got married. He
bought
done had a baby. I'm like, bought a house for the moms. He motivates me like crazy. So, man, shout out Alpha Saliu, man.
Yeah, it's hard to follow in his footsteps.
It is, bro. Like that's greatness right there. I'm not going to lie.
Absolutely, and he's definitely one of the people, But for me, it's you, bro.
Wow.
It's like
crazy. I appreciate that.
I've seen your level up process.
I appreciate
I've literally seen where you came from. We was just in Belgium, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And I seen how whatever you talked about, you're in the process of doing it now.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, you've always been like that, and I've always respected that in you. You know, especially your dedication to the gym and your dedication to your personal health, because that's really what it is, right?
Important, yeah.
It motivates me to get back on my due diligence and make sure that
Hey man, pull up. Let's get a session in, man. Shout out to Theo too, bro. Cause
hey man, I'm not working out with Theo, bro. Because I know he gonna violate me.
It's so funny people say that, but Theo is actually one of the best people that you could ever work out with, because he pushes you, but he pushes you from where you at, not where he's at. Like obviously you're not about to come to the gym squatting 3 plates on your first day.
That's a fact.
You know, he's built that. He's leveled up to be able to squat 3 plates. Like, you know, I can squat 2 plates now, you know what I'm saying?
One of the people also that I want to shout out is my good friend Thierno.
Okay, shout out to my brother TD.
That's our brother, you know. And he's also someone who motivates me to get back on my fitness journey, you know, because he said something to me recently that really opened up my mind. He was like, yo, why would you want to come to work every day and, you know, do all this for your people, which is your customers, that's who I consider to be my boss, is my customers. It's my people who buy from me every day. Why would I want to work for them all day and then go home and not do something for myself? That really opened up my eyes, man. So
I know, that's crazy. Shout out to him. Shout out to TD, man. Shout out to his wife too, man.
Shout out to his wife.
She gangster, bro. She motivates me to go to the gym.
That's a fact. She motivates for a lot of things, man.
Yeah,
a lot of things.
Nah, she's what? Shout out her. That's why I also, you know what I'm saying, I introduced them too, man. There's some good people. It's so crazy how like
you need to do a podcast like this for introducing people together. You need to have one person here, one person here.
For real. But when great people come together, you know, they just do great things.
Like, magic. All you gotta do is just put it together, and
that's
then
it.
You could go from there.
But that reminds me, one of my favorite quotes is, if you don't want to work for nobody, don't be an entrepreneur, bro. Because that's literally all you're doing. You're working for people, man.
Exactly, bro.
But I just had to throw that out there.
That's a fact.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the shout out, bro.
Of course.
I appreciate the shout out. I mean, we talked about community, but I kind of want to dabble into how has the support been like from the community, especially when you kind of pivoted to online, and then kind of from the immediate community too. And I just want to throw this out there. Sometimes you don't receive the immediate support from like your personal, very close community,
right?
And I feel like that like makes people unmotivated, and I feel like it's okay, but you got to understand that sometimes the support comes from people you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So how has that been for you?
Yo, man, I ain't gonna lie, it's been humbling. It's definitely been a process too, you know, because when I first started, I didn't expect to be in Vegas or be in just a random country or a random city, and I see someone that tells me that they know who I am, they know what I do, they respect what I do. It's not something that I ever thought it's not somewhere I ever even wanted to be honest with you, but when it started to get like that, it made me just think like, yo, this is something that I could do for the rest of my life. Because the people in Harlem, bro, the people in New York, the people who support me, my tribe, my customers, they're the people that hold me up every day. You know, they're the people that hold me accountable. They're the people that give me advice. They're the people that I go through it with. You know, I argue with them. And that right there allows me to polish myself and help them polish themselves. Because somebody might come to the store and they're not there to shop. They're just there to talk.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not something that I'm against. Because it's like, yo, you can provide value to me by not just buying from me, but by just speaking to me.
I don't even wear hats. Y'all know this. But every time I pass by 25th, I gotta go to Cap USA.
Bro, we had a conversation like this, and it was like a podcast.
I had to end the conversation for the podcast, bro.
But yeah, bro, definitely that's definitely the part of the business that I didn't expect when I was putting it online. Like, I didn't want to be in front of the cameras. I didn't want to have to talk to people every day, but it's gotten to a point now where it's like, yo, I gotta expect it, and I gotta always be ready, you know.
And I love that too. You say that because one thing I'm always about is storytelling, and I tell people like storytelling is what makes you who you are. It's how you sell a product. Right. Because we live in an age now where there's an abundance. Everybody does it. You can look online right now. You'll find 20, 30 hat vendors.
Facts.
But how many people can you look up and tell you the story of how they grew up in Harlem? And this is like people buy into the story. So I always tell people like, yo, you're unique. You could do what 1,000 people's doing, but your story is unique. So tell your story, and that's how you get people to buy what it is that you're selling, bro.
Absolutely, man.
All right.
Very important.
So to kind of go into things, it's like, what advice would you give to someone that's trying to dabble into entrepreneurship? Yeah. What advice would you personally kind of give them?
Hey, man, it's a lot of advice that, you know, I try to give out, that I try to live by before I could give that advice out as well, you know. One of my favorite quotes is, success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Think and Grow Rich.
That's beautiful.
It's something that...
You came ready.
Yeah, bro, of course. It's something that I had to progressively realize myself. You know, it's that success doesn't just... It's not a end goal. Success is not a destination that you reach. You know, it's the process that gets you to where you want to go every single day. Every single day you working consistently and you being very adamant at what you want to do. It's what allows you to continually do what you want to do what you got to do every single day. Realizing that success is a lifelong journey, you know, because you have your personal goals, you have your business goals, you have your everything, you know, your spiritual goals. It's not a destination. It's something that you have to continually step in every single day.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And then another thing would just be watch how you talk to yourself. Watch how you talk about yourself. You know, a lot of times we could be cocky or we could be confident.
Yeah. And
there's a difference. Like if someone gives you a compliment, say thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that compliment. Because that's what confidence is.
Yeah.
You know, if you just go through the world thinking that you him, you the shit, and nobody, you're gonna first of all you're gonna mess up a lot of relationships.
Facts.
Step on a lot of your relationships.
Facts.
Watch how you talk to yourself, because another quote that I know from a good friend called Smart.
Yeah.
He says, how does it go? He says, my fault. It got to come to me because it's pretty long.
It's good.
He says, how does it start? I know he'd kill me right now if he was here. But he basically
call him.
Yeah, I could call him right now. And he says, but basically it's how you think creates how you feel.
Yeah.
How you feel becomes an emotion.
Yeah.
That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you.
Wow.
So the way you think, it's what's the most important.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
I agree.
And if you have a thought process that stems from a higher being, and you move different, you talk different.
I agree. I'm a big advocate, and I probably said this on every episode, is like be kind to yourself, right?
Yeah.
It was something that I never really did. I always thought I had to just do better, be better. And I'm a person who never really celebrated anything, to be honest, because I always just looked at the next level, just the next level.
Right.
But I'm realizing, like, nigga, this shit ain't never gonna end.
Yep.
I'm never gonna want less. I'm always gonna want more, and it's just the human experience.
Yeah.
So it's just like sometimes I do take a moment and just appreciate the good, the bad, the ugly, a little bit of everything. Like even today when I was coming here, it's like, okay, I had rewatched the other episode. Yeah. I saw where I messed up. I was like, that's okay, because I'm not stopping. I'm gonna keep going.
For sure.
You know, and so like just appreciating the process and the journey and the people that you meet through it. I always tell people, like, one of the dopest things I love about filmmaking, it's never about when the movie's done. Yeah. It's about the people that you meet in the process of making a film. It's about creating the
take
film.
away from
Yeah,
it.
it's about creating a film with people that are dope and like having the ability to call all 20 different people that you met from some dude you met from down the hall with a crazy camera, and he'll tell you, yo, shoot it from down up, and it will change the entire the entire movie. So it's
For real.
it's about the journey, man, and
Absolutely.
just go through life appreciating and just keep trying, bro. Never stop, never give up.
Gratefulness.
Yeah.
Very important, bro.
All right. So you kind of mentioned the book already, but normally I ask the guests to give us a book that they really love, and then or a book that they want to just recommend to the people, because we readers on this podcast.
That's good,
it's
man.
one of the
That's
best
good,
ways
bro.
to grow.
I know myself, like when I'm reading a book, like I dive into it, but it's just about opening up that book.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, is when you open it up and you get a few pages deep.
Yeah.
For me, I can't stop when I'm a few pages deep, but opening it is the hard part.
This is crazy, right? My bad to cut you off.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember when we was in Belgium, I bought a book.
Yeah.
I just finished the book on the train on my way, and it's so funny. But because I read multiple books at the same time, but I just been trying to finish this book. Like, it's a very
What is
sad
it
book.
called?
It's 1,000 Splendid Suns. It'll give you a different level of appreciation and respect for women. Just want to give you a heads up if y'all do read that book.
Right.
But like, the book is so heavy sometimes. I stop reading and I just need a break from the book because they be pissing me off. But then it's like very sad. No, it's about war and all that stuff.
I think I'm gonna pick that up, man.
Nah, you gonna start reading the whole series, bro.
But
my bad. Back to what you was
saying.
saying.
My book, to be honest with you, I got a few books in mind, but the book that I read when I was in China actually was Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. Okay. He's the founder of Nike, the person who created Nike from the ground up. That book really taught me everything, a lot. It taught me a lot. And I'm not going to say it taught me everything, but it taught me a lot. It gave me a blueprint of what to do in the beginning stages of your business. A lot of lessons from that book. I think the biggest lesson I learned from it is that you got to take risk.
And that's why I say sometimes books just reaffirm things you already know, but they just make you feel like you're not the only crazy person out there. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to take risk. You got to take risks, bro. He started off with nothing. He built his business into $1 billion business, and within the first 10 years, I don't think he made profit. He doubled his sales, but he always put his money right back into the business. He never had money in the bank. Right. And that was crazy. I'm like, yo, when I read that, I'm like, what you gonna do on a rainy day? But he just kept putting everything into the business. It really opened up my eyes, and it really gave me a perspective at where I'm at right now. It helped me open up my eyes. I was in China learning how to, develop manufacturing for my business, and that's exactly what he did. He went to, I think it was Japan that he went to, but he went to over there and he did the same thing. So it was like a perfect blend,
If you want to make money, bro, it's not a matter of money. It's about a knowledge and what you could figure out that someone else can't figure out. Like, that's literally what it is. It's the 1-2s. It's the, okay, if I do this here, nobody doing this yet. Right. And that's why you also don't get too cocky, because nobody's doing it yet, but somebody might come with a crazy idea. So you have to be humble, and you never know. You never know who that person is. That person might come to you with an idea, and then you're just mad, mean, and inconsiderate, and they go do it bigger than you.
That's a fact. And to be honest with you, it's not even about the idea. The ideas count, but it's about implementing those ideas. It's about taking action. Bro. The execution is what separates the people who have the ideas and the people who actually make it happen. Yeah.
I tell us all the time. People have the same similar ideas. Back to one of my favorite quotes. The richest place in the world is the graveyard, bro. Like, oh man, think about that. Let that sit. The richest place in the world is the graveyard, because there's so many people with great ideas that never executed. And
it's also the poorest place in the world.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Hey, you can't bring your money with you.
You can't bring your money with you. You feel me?
Can't bring your money with you. Only the
deeds. Right here. Stays above ground.
That's crazy, man. Man, sadly, but this is coming to an end.
Damn, man. I feel like We've only been here
we
like
only
10
scratched
minutes.
the surface, right? That's crazy. We've been here for a minute.
I know, man. That's why I love talking to you, bro.
Nah,
And that's why I
same
feel
here,
like this
same
right
here.
here is a gold mine. You sitting on it.
Hey, man, this is just my way of getting cool with the rich people. So. Nah, I'm playing. But nah, even for me, like, the podcast is really a form of networking, man. Because it's a lot of brothers that come on here that's doing great things. Yeah. We gonna have some sisters come on too because they dominating the world too.
That's
but
a
yeah,
fact.
man, it's a way for me to connect with the people and network.
Yeah.
And see opportunities for like myself and other people, because people watch this and like, oh, okay, like he's doing this. I feel like everybody got a similar story.
Right.
But it's just that work, bro.
Yeah.
And I feel like once people understand that, that's literally the key. You can
fact.
have the idea, but you just gotta execute. Dream, plan, execute. That's why. That's the.
Gotta level up.
Gotta level up. You gotta keep going, bro.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, man.
For sure.
Any last words to the people?
Hey, man. Just like you said, bro. Dream, plan, execute. You know, give your all to what you're doing at the moment. You know, and also take it easy on yourself. You know, Allah said in the Quran that indeed with hardship comes ease.
Facts.
You know?
Yeah, nah, for real.
فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا.
That's a fact.
With hardship comes ease.
That's a fact.
So
it's hard in the beginning.
you have to step into that hardship in order for you to
experience the ease. With that being said, man, level up, man. Level up. Thank you so much for coming through, bro. Oh, man, I appreciate you so much.
Yes, sir.
All right. Peace out. We out of here.
Yo, man. That was great.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man.